Hello and welcome to Diplomatic Channel. I'm Temitope Fagbemi. Coming up on this week's program, Gambia's leader rejects his election defeat, drawing strong international condemnation. Ghana's opposition leader, Nana-Akufo-Addo, wins the country's presidential election. And the African Union holds historic first-ever debate for chairperson candidates. Let's begin the program in the Gambia, where President Yahya Jammeh has rejected the results of the presidential election held earlier this month, 1 week after admitting defeat. Mr. Jammeh cited abnormalities in the vote and called for fresh elections.
Gambia's President Yahya Jammeh said on Friday that he rejects the outcome of the election that he lost the opposition leader Adama Barrow and called for fresh elections.
I hereby announce to you Gambians my total rejection of the electoral results, and until we will go back to the polls, because I want to make sure that every Gambian has voted.
The announcement made on state television throws the future of the West African country into doubt after an unexpected election result that ended Jammeh's 22-year rule and was widely seen as a moment of democratic hope. Meanwhile, Mr. Jammeh's turnabout got a sharp rebuke from U.S. officials. U.S. State Department spokesman Mark Turner said in a statement that, quote, "This action is a reprehensible and unacceptable breach of faith with the people of the Gambia and an egregious attempt to undermine a credible election process and remain in power illegitimately." But the president is not deterred in his rejection.
To the other team, we've seen what has been happening these days. Well, let me make it very clear. The intervention of foreign powers in this country would not change anything. We know that plans were made or are being made for foreign troops to come because you have no confidence in the Gambian soldiers, children of the Gambia, employed and selected all across the country. I made one thing very clear, that, and I swore to the Almighty Allah and the Quran, that Gambia would not be colonized twice or enslaved twice, and this will not happen in 1 billion years.
Human rights groups say Jammeh's government detained, tortured and killed opponents during his rule, and his defeat sparked wild celebrations. But some people also said they doubted whether he would accept defeat. Official election results from the Electoral Commission gave Barrow, a real estate developer who once worked as a security guard at a retailer Argos in London, 45.5% of the votes against Jammeh's 36.7%. Barrow had been expected to take over in late January following a transition period.
Still talking elections, Ghana's opposition leader, Nana-Akufo-Addo, won Wednesday's tightly contested presidential election. President John Mahama called Mr. Akufo-Addo to admit defeat as the Electoral Commission announced the results.
Opposition leader Nana-Akufo-Addo won Ghana's national election, becoming president-elect at the third attempt and cementing the country's reputation as a standard-bearer of democracy in a region that's been blighted by civil wars and coups.
On the basis of the foregoing figures, and by the power vested in me as the chairperson of the Electoral Commission and the returning officer for the presidential election, it is my duty and my privilege to declare Nana Akufo-Addo as a president-elect of the Republic of Ghana. Thank you. God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation greater and stronger.
Akufo-Addo defeated President John Mahama by 53.8% to 44.4%, sparking scenes of celebration in the capital, Accra.
Whether you campaigned for me or not, whether you voted for me or not, I can promise you one thing. I will do my best to serve your interests and put our country back on the path of progress and prosperity.
Supporters of his new patriotic party broke into cheers and dancing, and car horns blared and fireworks erupted across the city following an anxious day in which his victory had been broadly accepted, but there were no official results. 72-year-old Akufo-Addo served as foreign minister and attorney general in the previous NPP government that ruled between 2001 and 2009 and twice previously lost close battles for the presidency. The outcome maintains Ghana's record of fiercely contested but peaceful elections, with a government being voted out at the ballot box for the third time since 2000. Incumbent President John Mahama has called President-elect Akufo-Addo to concede defeat.